You may stay with your eyes closed. For those who came out of meditation, kindly have some water. So, the art of not forcing. I came across this some time ago in one of the sessions by our friend and master Sashank, who had shared about this art of not forcing. And very recently, I came across a video that really connected me very much as I listened to it. So I thought to share with you all this concept of the art of not forcing. So here is the article. You work hard and are relentless in your pursuit of success. You often find yourself caught in a vicious cycle of pushing, striving, and forcing outcomes. You are conditioned to believe that your worth is tied to your achievements, that you must constantly fight against the currents of life to carve out your path. Yet, in this constant struggle, you forget the inherent magic that lies in surrendering to the flow of the universe. The greatest power is often found in the gentlest touch, the effortless flow, and the art of not forcing. According to Lao Tzu, when we stop trying to control, everything will still get done. The philosophy of Wu Wei, or acting without forcing, originated from ancient Chinese philosophy, specifically Taoism. The central text of Taoism teaches that one should act in harmony with the Tao, or the natural order of the universe. This means that instead of trying to force things to happen or control outcomes, you should allow things to unfold naturally and follow the path of least resistance. Of course, Wu Wei doesn't have a fixed meaning. Some translate Wu Wei as non-action or doing nothing. Others as actionless action, and others as effortless action. Nonetheless, Wu Wei is an art of not forcing yourself into anything and going with the flow. Lao Tzu stated that using force always leads to unseen troubles. Indeed, when Lao Tzu speaks of force, it is not primarily about the literal use of physical force. Instead, it refers to the act of imposing your will and interfering with the natural flow of things. Nature follows its own course, constantly operating in the background, and serving as the foundation of our human existence. It is a force that perpetually creates and recreates, encompassing all aspects of life. Lao Tzu emphasizes the importance of aligning ourselves with this natural flow rather than attempting to forcefully control or manipulate it. But despite this wisdom, there is a prevailing emphasis on conscious human effort above all else. We tend to celebrate effort regardless of its actual effectiveness, often staying busy for the sake of being busy. We find ourselves pushing rocks up hills simply for the sake of pushing. While making an effort is important, it is equally crucial to make intelligent efforts. There are, at, there are times when hard work and action are necessary, but there are also many occasions where they are not. It depends on the flow of circumstances. We often hold the belief that if we exert enough effort and determination, we can make things happen exactly as we desire. However, the reality is that numerous forces lie beyond our control. Unexpected events, the choices of others, and life's inherent unpredictability can all play a role. We cannot control the weather, the stock market, or the thoughts and actions of others. When you insist on forcing outcomes, you frequently experience a continuous cycle of frustration, stress, and exhaustion. Wu Wei is not about being lazy or passive, it is about being in tune with the natural rhythms of life and knowing when to act and when to let go. When you force things, you waste your precious time and energy on overthinking, feeling sorry for ourselves, or blaming others. But when you move with the flow of life, you can effortlessly and gracefully attain your aspirations. Alan Watts said, rowing is a rather thoughtless way of pushing a boat across the water rather than going against nature. Sailing requires that you flow through nature effortlessly. Consider a river flowing down a mountain. It doesn't forcefully push through rocks and boulders. It simply finds the path of least resistance and flows around them. In doing so, it creates a beautiful and harmonious landscape. You can learn a lot from the river about the power of Wu Wei. In your life, you may have noticed that when you try to force things, it often leads to chaos and stress. However, when you let go and allow things to unfold naturally, you can achieve your goals with ease and grace. This doesn't mean you should be passive or wait for things to happen. It means taking action when the time is right and letting go when necessary. In judo, it's important to understand that the use of muscle is strategic and precise. You don't exert force randomly or unnecessarily. Instead, you wait for the perfect moment when your opponent is off balance and vulnerable. At that moment, you add a little muscle to your technique, allowing you to execute a successful throw, and overpower your opponent. The key is to use muscle only when it's most advantageous and never at the wrong moment. This approach ensures efficiency and maximizes the effectiveness of your movements in judo. When you take action, aim for the principle of least possible action. This means using the least amount of energy and time needed to accomplish your goals. It's not about being lazy or half hearted, but about being efficient and effective by using your resources wisely and avoiding waste. You can increase your chances of success while reducing unnecessary stress. Imagine you have an important interview due tomorrow. Now let's take a step back and apply the principle of Wu Wei to this situation. Instead of trying to force yourself to perform exceptionally well, take a moment to relax and let go of the pressure. Remember, you don't have control over the questions to be asked or the outcome. Remind yourself of your qualifications, skills, and experience. Trust in your abilities and the preparation you have done leading up to this interview. As you enter the interview, allow yourself to flow with the process. Instead of trying to forcefully impress the interviewer, focus on being authentic and present. Listen attentively to their questions and respond with clarity and confidence. Let your answers come naturally, drawing from your knowledge and experience. The interview could be well thought out, creative, and engaging. You may feel confident and proud of your work, and you know that you did your best. Or even if something doesn't work out as planned and you feel like you failed, remember that letting go and flowing can often lead to even better outcomes. The important thing is to trust the process, relax, and let things happen naturally. This way, you can make progress without feeling like you are pushing too hard. By doing things this way, you can finish the task without getting stressed or overwhelmed. It also helps you have a more positive attitude, which makes you more productive and efficient. So, my friend, in the art of not forcing, we find solace in surrender. We learn to release our attachment to specific outcomes and instead focus on the present moment. It is in the surrender that we come to realize that our desires are but whispers of the soul, guiding us towards our highest potential. When we detach from the need to control every aspect of our lives, we open ourselves to infinite possibilities and allow the universe to work its magic. If you are still here, I would be I would be very grateful that you have been part of this sharing the art of not forcing. Thanks a lot. It's such a beautiful wisdom, the Chinese wisdom, Wu Wei, the art of not forcing. So Madhu corrects me. She says it's a Japanese wisdom. It's such a beautiful, the art of not forcing. Just be. It's so deep, wherein it says that exerting force, exerting effort when it is rightly needed, and when it is not, You just let go, you just be, you just experience the flow. Everything happens, everything perfectly happens when we master this art of not exerting force. I really loved it the moment I heard it, and happy that I could share with you all. Masters, if anyone would like to add anything more, please go ahead and mute yourself. Yes, Sashank.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ram. It was really amazing, and this knowledge connects to me on so many levels, especially the way of least resistance. And I can tell you from small example when I was learning Aikido. Um, we were learning on the mats in our dojo, the training place. It's called all the Japanese martial arts. So the instructor told me to relax when he applies pressure. So naturally, when you say, I obviously was very tensed. So the more tensed I am, the more painful it is. So we were day in day like training 3 days a week. So every day we train to relax our body. So over the time, I got to notice how much I can relax. And the movements itself in Aikido are spiral. So everything, whenever the attacker comes to you, you don't apply any resistance. You go with the flow, and that exactly right, like you said, at the right moment you apply the force. So then I learned what the path of least resistance is. The body is fully relaxed, and there was no pain anywhere, and I could get out of the line of attack. So it's really, really wonderful. I In the beginning I didn't understand that, but after training for 2 years in Aikido, I really got to know a little bit of it because it's a lifetime studies, and I really like that. And here this goes even further about our emotions, about our work, and the way you said about the interview where you surrender. So not just on the physical level, like in martial arts, but of course it goes to emotional and also finally like spiritual. So thank you so much. I could really keep on talking, but yeah, thank you so much for bringing this knowledge.
Thanks a lot, Sashank. Considering this art of not forcing, we will not force you to stop because you were flowing so beautifully. It is
Yes,
so
I mean,
beautiful listening.
yeah, I really miss this Aikido or even Judo, all the martial arts with the name Budo, like the way of basically the way of surrendering or the way of connecting to the universe. It's amazing how Zen traveled from the ancient India to uh, you know China and Japan, and how they brought amazing wisdom again back. So it's great.
Very beautiful. And listening to your experience of Aikido, I remember in your past sessions, you have shared about this art of not forcing. And again, listening to your today sharing, how this practice, including the aspect of your master training you by putting pressure and asking you to relax. It is it is such a beautiful practice. I can feel it. So you have practically experienced it, and yes, we all can expand this concept into our lives like this article speaks about expanding it further in every aspect of life. And we can experience beauty, we can experience the flow, we can experience the nature in a greater way. Thanks a lot, Shashank. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Ram. Just one final word. I really encourage every one of you to practice. Like if you find any dojo nearby, try Aikido, because unlike other martial arts, there is no age factor. There is no male or female, because I have been training with 60 or 70-year olds as well. There are no competitions, and it's for all. Like unlike karate or taekwondo, you don't need to stretch your legs to some roundhouse kick or something. I really encourage everyone to try Aikido or even Tai Chi to really um, get a feeling of what the path of least resistance is. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Shashank. That's a nice, inspiring way forward for all of us. Thank you. Yes, masters. Anyone else? Thanks a lot for the comments, Ranjani ji, Shashank again, Madhavi ji, Sri Kala ji, iPhone, another master. Yes, Mridula ji. Yes, it's a Chinese concept. Yes, Madhavi, please go ahead.
Thank you so much, Ram, for a wonderful meditation, also for the topic. While you were reading it, I didn't even understand what he's trying to say, but finally understood the concept. But I have one question over here. When he says that we have to go or be with the nature and just be like, like a flow. But there are sometimes you have the targets, and sometimes you have the achievements and the to-dos. How do we achieve them if we just need to be in our flow?
Yes, Madhavi, I think,
For example, I think you understand what I mean, because if I
yeah.
be in the flow, then I start my day with puja and then cooking, and then I'll be in that flow. Like, answer me now.
Yes. So I think this art of not forcing is something to experience. Although it is explained here, it is something to experience. Now you ask this question, and it is not so easy to explain for me. Rather, I would suggest at least to try this out in those aspects that you think you can experiment and experience this art of not forcing. The more you consciously witness in some of your life actions the art of not forcing, particularly try it like Shashank had shared, the master is putting pressure and you feel the pressure, you feel the pain, but he says, relax. So now take those moments in your life, day to day life, exclude the work, exclude those things that you are compelled to put effort, exclude them, while take those occasions, situations where you witness there is this pressure, pain, but you can experiment trying with the act of not forcing. When you try this out, I'm sure when you experience this out and when you witness the outcome by this experimenting, it will be easier for you to experiment further into other aspects of life. I don't know if it makes sense to you or if anyone would like to add more to help out to Madhavi's
Thank you so much,
quest.
Ram. But I try my best to implement in that the way you said, not like to force myself to do that thing, but just to give my best. Yeah, but I try, because I never implemented that in life, because I have a to-do list and I have to finish. Like, it's like have to. Then when there is a have to and to do, that means there is a force in it. But that's how it is. We have to do it, the things. But you're right, like how the author says here, we have to just let it go the way it is. But how? So I need to experiment. Maybe, yeah, other masters, if they can give me the tips how I can
Yes.
implement in the life,
I see
that would be great.
Shashank and Mrudulaji are here. Yes, Shashank, please.
Go ahead, Madhavi. So,
Go ahead, Shashank. I have.
thank you.
Should I say? Thank-
Just a comment. Our company was giving a coaching called Getting Things Done. Maybe some of you might know this. We were actually discussing the same issue or topic, how to be in the flow state at your optimal performance when you have tough deadlines and many tasks that really overwhelm you. So 2 days we were just training for this. And one thing I learned is once you figure out what to do through your to-do lists and setting your priorities, you set some time for yourself to work on this, right? Always you are doing one task at a time, which means you are trying to be in the present moment. So for me, I know this is quite challenging. I'm experimenting this by myself. In the end, how many tasks we have, it's always one task at a time. That means we are going to the flow state. We are at least trying to go to the state, practicing it. So in the end, for me, these things will come together. But I'm also experimenting. It's a wonderful question, Madhavi. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Shashank. I do face it in the corporate levels. Then I put it as a priorities, as you said, that when we have this kind of a list and we have that, the bosses having us the targets and the deadlines, and then we have that the piles of work, and in that we can I will try to prioritize, and then I try to finish, and I achieve a lot actually. It's not that I have some complaint, but when the author says that just to live the way you are, like, like, then when I start my day with cooking, then I'm just in that cooking the whole day then. So but how do I minimize myself, or how do I make myself, hey guy, come on, get up. It's not that you can just take your whole time in that one. So how can I really minimize, but at the same time be in that flow? So that I wanted actually. So that was I was looking for. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Mrudulaji, please.
My interpretation was that whatever we do, we go with the flow. I can tell you my work. When I was a resident, I had to do codes, mean somebody arrested. And when I'm there, the nurses used to tell me, how come you're so calm during the codes when we're all, but if I don't stay in the flow and be calm, I can't see everything. I can't see what the guy is doing with the code machine, what the nurses are doing with the IVs, what everybody's doing. I can't see it. So in that, whatever I think the saying is, it's not the nature of you, it's whatever you're doing in your life. You stay in the focus, you stay in the moment, and let it flow from you. If I'm stressed out in that moment, I can't see everything that's happening. So that's one example I can give. And the other one is, in terms of workload, I can tell you, not only am I seeing the patients every day, when I'm seeing the patients, I get 500 to 600 emails at the same time. Now, these are patients, so that means they're waiting. So you imagine. So I can understand in the corporate, those emails mean money. For me, sometimes those emails mean life. So what I tend to do is, again, if I don't go with the flow, if I get frazzled, I cannot complete my task for the day. I cannot give the people what they need for the day. So I focus on whoever's in front of me at first. In the few minutes, I focus on one email, do one thing at a time. That's my interpretation of go with the flow. And when I started meditation, it even got better. I got to not even think about even the next moment of what to do with the patient in front of me. I just listened to whatever they were saying. And honestly, the day goes better, the stress level is less. And if there's something that I can't answer right that moment, I always tell people, whenever I teach somebody, I always say, sleep on it. Because when we sleep on it, our subconscious mind is constantly thinking. And then it's almost like magic. The next day or the day after, we come with the answer. But if we force it, the answer doesn't come even for a week. So, and I've experienced both. So I can share it that way, I guess. I hope that helps. I don't know.
Thank you so much, Muzlaji. Thank you so much. Thank you, all masters.
Indeed, very beautiful, Mridulaji, sharing your personal experience on the art of least effort. So I can understand with the way you said emails, many times it means lives for you than how little it is in the corporate world looking from that aspect. So thanks a lot for sharing this. And thanks, Sashank, and thanks, Madhavi, for the beautiful question.
Thank you so much, Ramza, for the beautiful the session with this. Do not force ourselves. It's a very beautiful article. I bought this book actually on Amazon while we were discussing it. Thank you.
Anyone else, masters? Okay, then. Thanks again, everyone. And I welcome all of you to choose one aspect of life and consciously witness it as you experience this art of not forcing or the art of least effort. And as Sashank had suggested, if anyone would like to take it further, you can even look around for such martial arts, Ikido. And if anyone wants more information, please feel free to reach Shashank. Namaste, everyone. Yes, Mridulaji, you want to add more, please?
Oh, yeah. Also, what Madhavi was saying, I forgot about what she said about, having to prioritize. Even that can be done with, like I said, you choose the person in front of you, whatever you're doing. For her, it may be a phone call, having a meeting, or, choosing the email that needs to be done. And in the corporate world, in the business world, in the medical world, there's always deadlines. There's always things we have to do. But so somehow you prioritize, not in a stressed out way, you prioritize, say, I have to do this at this time and manage when you can get that done. But you don't have to do it like, you do it with the flow, even that. If I have, a lot of times when the nurses would come and say, this is happening, it's a lot of tasking. When I was in a different city, my first few months I was there, I'm in the room and somebody's EKG is not good, somebody is not breathing properly. I cannot go, like frazzled. I have to, apologize to the person, take care of the next thing. You just go with that flow, I don't know if I'm explaining. You just take one thing at a time, feel that one moment at a time. Don't even think about the next moment. As I said in the code situation, what is my priority? My priority is not on the 10 other patients in the ICU. My priority is the guy that stopped beating the heart. So when all the other people are looking at me, I have to see what everyone's doing. And that's not going to happen if I'm focusing on the 10 other people in the ICU. It's only going to help me when I'm focusing on that one person. And then I'm looking at everybody doing their task because I'm the instructor. I'm standing at the head of the bed instructing them. So that's where you choose your priority. And I don't think the nature means it's the nature of what you do every day, not our real the nature of when we get up and doing things. We carry the nature of this free flow movement in whatever task we do for the day. I think Ram was trying to explain that. Whatever we do, Lao Tzu, the Tao Te Ching, is saying that you just go with the flow, whatever action you need to take for the day. Whether at work, whether at home, whether at whatever you're doing. And go by minute, and not think about the next minute or the next person or the next day. It's wonderful. It seems so easy, but it's hard for everyone. It takes a lot of practice. I'm still practicing. I've been with meditation for 10 years. I'm still practicing every day with whatever actions I do. So anyway, I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mridulaji. Thank you so much for all the master's insight. Yes, I will implement and I'll come up also with my experiences, how I made this not to force myself or to be in that flow, Yeah, thank you so much.
And as Mridulaji was sharing this, what comes to me as a reflection is this art of not forcing is not new to any one of us. We do it daily. And indeed, the day doesn't pass if we are not doing this art of not forcing. For example, sleeping. Sleep is only happening because we are not forcing the sleep to happen. If we just simply force the sleep to happen, it would never happen. So innately, that is our essence, the core essence of ourself, the art of not putting effort. That's innate nature of ourself. And just because we do it the other way in many aspects of our life, we bring into our lives that are not pleasant. Now returning to our own true nature or our inner beauty, which is the art of using effort when required, the least effort, and then the art of not forcing, we experience the life to the fullest. We can build the greatest thing by embracing this art of not doing. The art of not doing or the art of not forcing is not about not doing anything, doing the greatest things in the most beautiful way. Thank you. With this, Masters, we end this evening session. Continue to contemplate on these wonderful sharings, and we meet back in our next session tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Namaste all.